My people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
One Sabbath day, Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues, and a woman was there who for 18 years had been possessed by a spirit that left her enfeebled. She was bent double and quite unable to stand upright. When Jesus saw her, he called her over and said, "Woman, you are rid of your infirmity." And he laid his hands on her. And at once she strengthened up, and she glorified God. But the synagogue official was indignant because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath. And he addressed the people present. "There are 6 days," he said, "when work is to be done. Come and be healed on one of those days and not on the Sabbath." But the Lord answered him, "Hypocrites," he said, "is there one of you who does not untie his ox or his donkey from the manger on the Sabbath and take it out for watering? And this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has held bound for 18 years, was it not right to untie her bonds on the Sabbath day?" When he said this, all his adversaries were covered with confusion, and all the people were overjoyed at all the wonders he worked. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Normally, we don't preach here on Mondays. But there's something I want to address. A lot of Catholics have been bewildered and angry about some of the things being portrayed in the social media and other media outlets concerning some reports about what Pope Francis said. I did address this on Saturday, but having received more messages and phone calls, I just need to draw your attention to one thing: that God gave us leaders in a civil society to guide us, and even in our religious life to guide us too. But God also gave us common sense. In addition to our common sense, he also gave us conscience. We are to be guided by our leaders, who are also human like us, and who sometimes could make mistakes. And that doesn't exclude the Pope. And I'm not saying the Pope has made a mistake. Some of the media, the way they were quoting him, has led me confused to the point that I don't even know the actual thing the Pope said. In some media, they said, finally the Catholic Church have endorsed same-sex marriage. In other headlines you read, like, the Pope says it is okay to be gay, and so on and so forth. The Pope is entitled to his personal opinion as a person. But that has not changed the teaching of the Church on marriage. And like I said on Saturday, marriage between a man and a woman is not a law made by the Church. This law was there before the Christianity began. This is natural law. It is not a man-made law. even our ancestors, like my ancestors back in Africa, practiced this. They never read the Bible. They never knew anything about Christianity. And how do I know they practiced it? They practiced it because that was how my parents were born. And that was how I came to be born as well. So it is not a law made by the church, so the church has no power to change it. And the church cannot cancel it. It is a natural law made by nature, which is not only observed by Christians. This is observed even by non-Christians and people of other faith. So let us use our common sense and let us also be guided by our conscience. The first reading, towards the end of our first reading today, it says, "You should not allow yourself to be misled by empty arguments, that you were once in darkness, but now you are embraced light, that you have been enlightened by faith." And so, what the media is reporting, even though they have reported, some outlets are reporting a wrong thing, which is, of course, an opportunity for them to praise the church or praise the Pope in a wrong way. Let us not allow this to mislead us. Because I know even the Bible, I'm not surprised the Bible said, when the end is near, there will be a lot of confusions and wrong doctrines. And this is not an excuse for us to justify our spiritual weakness or our distancing from God, because many people are observing social distancing from God. And they are looking for an opportunity to justify what they are doing, why they cannot, why they don't pray, why they don't go to church, why they don't believe in God. Let me tell you clearly, the Pope, like every other person, the bishops, the priests, have their own responsibilities, and also each person will face the judgment throne individually. If I come here today and say to you there is no God, will you believe me? If you believe me, then that shows your total dependence on me as a person, which is wrong. And the Bible says, like in our gospel reading today, what Christ is trying to do here, we cannot totally depend on anyone. We can only totally depend on God. So, if someone says to you there is no God today, be it a priest, a bishop, or a pope, and you believe that person, then something is wrong with you. It means you don't have that deep, personal, and intimate relationship with God yet. I don't want to say that our judgments are going to be based on what we learn from the church. No, this is not what I'm saying. That God is going to judge us individually, and He's not going to judge you because of what the Pope said. The Pope has been saying so many good things in the past, almost every day. But this is one thing. An interview he granted privately is what the media has taken up and is celebrating with it. My dear friends, let us not be misled, and let us not get confused about the teaching of the church, especially on issues of marriage, that marriage is a holy union, is not a contract, but a covenant that is established by God, and this covenant is between male and female. That teaching has not changed. And I don't think the teaching is going to change, because it is in line with with the natural law. And I know Catholic Church embraced it because Catholic Church is not opposed to anything that is natural, that is universally acceptable, and that is true. So, my dear friends, let us not rely on what people are saying so that we throw away our faith and then we begin to live like people who have no conscience, who have no faith at all. I'm saying this because I'm worried about some people's faith because of what they are saying on social media and other outlets. But the truth of the matter is, the teaching of the church on issues of marriage has not changed, and I don't think it will change. And if I come up here to tell you what is not right, it is up to you to use your common sense or your conscience to know what is right. As parents, we have the responsibility, primary responsibility. It's not the primary role of the Pope to teach our children how to pray, how to respect one another, how to develop their relationship with God. It is your primary responsibility as a parent to do that. And it is our primary responsibility to help one another to grow in faith. And so if because of what the media is saying, especially in some section of the media that has blown it out of proportion, and then we use that as an evidence to justify our weak spiritual life, our distancing from God, our fight or maybe our attack against the church or the faith, then it's up to you. But I know that God is going to judge each person individually, and we are all going to account for the life we live. The Pope is not going to account for you. I am not going to account for you. I have my own accountability to give before God. And this is what we need now. We need more prayers for ourselves, for the Pope, and for everyone. And it's a call, it's a wake-up call to develop our intimate relationship with God. And this is not a time to begin to get discouraged and to lose faith. May God bless you.